Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Fantasy 5 for today's Sunday, March 10th. I hope you remembered to move your clocks forward because we do have an early tip-off in the NBA at noon today. So make sure you get your lineup set. As always, we are brought to you by www.mathradio.com, where you can grab online math courses for your kids ages 7 to 17 for as little as $9.99. Go to www.mathradio.com. All right, let's get into it today because a lot of news came out last night. We're going to give you the 5 things you need to know today in fantasy sports. So number 1, the Antonio Brown saga has finally come to an end, and it was pretty surprising. So Antonio Brown was traded from the Steelers to the Raiders for a 3rd and a 5th round pick. Now, I know the pick compensation doesn't really matter for fantasy sports, but I thought this was outrageous. How can the Steelers let Antonio Brown go for a 3rd and a 5th round pick? A team like San Francisco, the Colts, the Browns, none of these teams would give you a 2nd rounder for Antonio Brown. I think they could have got a better deal out there, but they were unwilling to trade him to a team they thought would be competition. So I think this is a big loss for the Steelers and a big loss for Antonio Brown. I don't really like him with David Carr in the Raiders offense. I'm not a fan of this deal. As we mentioned, last week, the Raiders were the best of the evils, as you could say, but I do not like this deal going forward. You're going to see a lot of short passes to Antonio Brown, but will he ever catch a long pass again under Derek Carr's guidance? I don't know. I don't like it. And that's Antonio Brown. For our second story today, we're going to move over to Los Angeles and talk about the LA Lakers. So Lonzo Ball and Ingram are both out for the season now. So the Lakers are pretty much the walking wounded. LeBron James, he's on a minute restriction. Kuzma's injured. Ball and Ingram both out for the season. So who do we turn to on this Lakers roster for some fantasy gold? Well, I've got 3 guys for you who played a lot of minutes these past 2 games. First, we have a center, Moritz Wagner. He's played about 30 minutes a game, had some decent production. He's someone to watch going forward. Hopefully, you can get him at a very cheap price over on FanDuel. We also have a power forward, Jonathan Williams. He had a great game against the Celtics. In 29 minutes, he scored 18 points and grabbed 10 rebounds. That is some nice production. We also have shooting guard Alex Caruso. Honestly, he's a first-year player that I've never heard of before, but he's getting lots of minutes as well. He didn't play that well last game. He only had 3 shots, but in the game before, I think he got up 12 or 13 shots, so he might have some fantasy value going forward as well. So look for those 3 guys. We have Wagner, Williams, and Caruso, all from the Lakers, who should be getting extended minutes with all of these injuries. Speaking of injuries, let's move to Philadelphia and talk about Joel Embiid. He is set to come back tonight. He is this afternoon, to be precise, against the Indiana Pacers. So their stated goal is to get him healthy for the playoffs. So what does that mean for today's game and the games going forward in the regular season? I assume he's going to be on a minute restriction today, so I would not have him in your lineup. He still might put up, a double-double, a very shallow double-double in 20 minutes or so, but I would not pay the price tag that he's going to cost in daily fantasy sports. Moving on, story number 4 is another injury, this time in Minnesota, as the Timberwolves star Karl Anthony Towns left the game at the end of regulation with a knee injury. And boy, did he have a game. He had 40 points, 16 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block before leaving the game with the injury. So this could be serious going forward. He is one of our best fantasy contributors at the center position this year, especially since Butler has left. He has been amazing and killing it in the stat sheets. So it's going to be a real loss to have him gone if he's going to miss extended time, and I wouldn't doubt that he will miss extended time, as the Timberwolves probably aren't bound for the playoffs, and they should be in full tank mode. Oh yeah, Lakers should be in tank mode as well. I forgot to mention that earlier. All right, moving to baseball, the Kansas City Royals have signed a new catcher. Maladano, the Gold Glove winner of 2017, will be joining the Kansas City Royals. So last year he only hit .225 with 9 home runs and 44 RBIs for the Angels and Astros combined. So is this guy a top-end fantasy player? Probably not. Is he startable? Probably not. But the Royals now have a catcher, and we won't be counting on 2 unknown players to fill out their catcher position with our Salvador Perez injury. So at least we have some clarity in Kansas City. So those were the 5 big stories today. Again, want to mention that the NBA slate of games tips off at noon today, and the clocks have moved forward. So you need to get your lineups in, especially early today. Make sure you have everyone healthy starting. Check those lineups right before tip-off, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, and remember to visit www.mathradio.com. Please give us a like, a share, a subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.